Hello, dear, beautiful, amazing world. Today, I would like to talk about this language of the soul. The language and the words we're using, and to get the feeling and meaning behind the words, comes from our soul. To be able to string together a myriad of different words and symbols to make it become something that is meaningful, that is something we all understand. That is the language of the soul. To connect through the soul and to actually speak out of our soul, of our feelings, emotions, will, and thinking, gives something that is often empty in a lot of cases when it comes to conversations. But when you are in tune with the soul, when you are in tune with your emotions, when you are in tune with your thoughts and your inner world in general, you become very adept at actually speaking. This requires training, of course. But speech in general is such a beautiful melodic thing. Melody. You feel it in the tones we're using. We go up and down, and based on how we feel, we change our tones based on how safe we feel, what mood we're in, what thoughts we have in the moment, and everything is pretty clear when you wake up to them yourself, for yourself. You become aware that there is more to us than just this physical being. Our thoughts and our feelings doesn't come from our body alone. It comes from more sublime regions. It is spiritual faculties that needs to be cultivated to actually be understood. And it requires a little bravery to delve down into the darkness. We have all gone through some different kinds of stuff in life, and it is up to every and each one of us to find out what that is in our own capabilities. That means as long as you're doing something, you are doing something. But if we, as human beings, we are pretty destructive if we are letting ourselves to our own devices. That is important. But if we give ourselves life through our will, that means we want something else, we long for something else, we work for something else than what necessarily is today the segregation, the war against all, more or less. Everyone's fighting with everyone and everyone disagrees with everyone. And that is just a middle point in a sense. We are becoming more and more split in two. It is easy to see. Just take as an example, when a remake of a movie comes out, you often have two sides. I am not going to delve deeper into it, but most people are aware of these two bickerings that is so out of place and so unimportant. But it is not that what they do is unimportant. It is what they are bickering about that is unimportant. But to actually watch the two bicker with each other, you learn much about each side. But it's important to not take side. None of them are correct. None of them are wrong. They have their own truth in mind, but it is only one point of the truth. You need to take a picture of a tree from four sides to see the whole picture. That is just an example. To be able to see things from more than one lens, to be able to see things from a scientific standpoint, from a materialistic standpoint, from a spiritual standpoint, from a cultural standpoint, from a political standpoint, to be able to switch lenses based on the necessity of it, based on what you can absorb most in your soul to grow as a human being. We human beings, we are the most evolved on this planet right now of the physical we can see. And the animals comes from us. They are the less evolved versions of us that stopped at certain points. And now we have a responsibility to take care of our younger brothers and sisters that are the animals, that are the beautiful dances of forms and behaviors and spirit. We can't be cruel to animals anymore like we are doing. We need to ask ourselves some questions. And it's not like we need to either. We should. Because we have a free will. We don't need to do anything. But we should do it. And when you should do it, that means you don't need to do it, but if you're not doing it, something else will happen. Do we dare go that way? Should we go that way? Because we are going that way. If we do not use our will to put in new life in our culture, politics, economics, and give it new systems that actually works, that actually is for all, that is what we need to do today. That is what we should do today. Sorry, my language. And to be able to see these small differentiations and changes that happens over time by observing, be an objective and open observer of the things. Of course, some things might be extremely uncomfortable to actually see and observe, but to be objective and willful in the moment to learn from that so that we do not do the same mistakes again. That is why we are experiencing what I like to call crap, bad experiences, dark moments, and mood changes and such. They are to be explored and they are to be handled correctly and lovingly, because they are cooperating with us. But if we are fighting against it and want to hide it away, we are at war with it. And we don't even want to see our own emotions. Emotions today are more or less taboo. You can't speak about that. I'm getting offended. What the hell? That is you. You are offended by it. You need to fix something then. Offense is something that is extremely strange to me. Of course, if you personally, as an individual, is being attacked, verbally or anything, then you have the right to defend yourself. But if it is something abstract, if it is something you really can't do anything about, but you're only complaining about, then you are giving extra darkness to that darkness. You are participating in it. You are growing it. It's the same with the light. When you are a child of the light, when you are a child of truth, when you are a child of evolution and change and growth, like we human beings are, there's nothing that stands still. Then you actually can feel that there is so much more to life than this. There is so much more. And I love it. Because the emotions, the love, the sensations you get from everything you are watching, everything you're exploring with your own free will and your own strengths, are things that stick with you throughout after death. All the soul and the understandings from our I, from our ego, from our capital I, is something we take further after death if we cultivate it correctly. We are here for reasons. We are here for a purpose. To give the world something new, to learn something new, and to not take space. To not just be here and be a parasite. Because if we only take and want ours alone, we are parasites. That's how parasites work. They take until the host is dead. And we are doing this, and especially the rich people. It feels like they are, I don't know, this is just what I have come into a half conclusion about, that it feels like they are trying to run away from this planet and destroying it as fast as possible. We can do different. We can do differently. we have all something to say. We are all here living, having equal right to live here. And everyone that is taking from Mother Earth better take responsibility for it. And especially if you're destroying rainforest to build up farms, to build up something that destroys the ecosystem completely, because we are becoming more and more imbalanced on this planet, because the planet becomes unbalanced. So if we give this earth life, if we give it change, if we give it solutions, this we have to want, we have to long for it, then we can start making changes. But until we want it, we will stay in status quo, and it will go more and more downward, because we are not having life-giving forces in what we do right now. It's destructive, especially in the West. And, of course, China. But that is not something we can control necessarily. They have to take that for themselves. I am not blaming China. I am not blaming any country. I am not blaming anyone. We just have to do things differently. I'm just seeing it as truth, as what we are going through right now. And by seeing what we're going through, we see what we are doing right, we see what we are doing wrong, we see what's beautiful, and we see what's ugly. Do you feel that? Beautiful and ugly. The beautiful is the moral, the ethical, the brother and sisterliness we have with each other, the understanding, the empathic. That is beautiful. That is beautiful. And jealousy and insecurities, fear, hate, terror, and all of these are ugly things, dark things. There are always things in between, but if you're aware of these things, you're not letting yourself get affected by it too much. You're always getting affected by it, because everyone is connected to everyone in this big world. And just to be one with our emotion and feelings and the world, and trying to work for the world, trying to work for our fellow human beings, and not neglect ourselves, not working ourselves to death, not running as fast as we can. Why are we accelerating so fast? It is no reason for it, and the faster we accelerate, the more we destroy, faster and faster and faster. But if we cool down a little, slow down, everyone on this world, we will become here and now aware of what we can do, what we are able to do, what we are capable of doing in this moment. Only by being here and now can we find solutions. Solutions are not in the future. Solutions are not to be found in the future. They are here to be found now. If we don't do things now, we will never do things. We will just lollygag it all away. That is what I mean by using will, by using life-giving and creative forces in our life, from moment to moment, from day to day, from week to week, from month to month, from year to year, from decade to decade, and so on, and from generation to generation. It is important to find a balance and the harmony between the first and the second generation, and so on. If we don't, we are disagreeing and at war with each other, and those that were in power will always have power, and yeah, it will only be chaos about that. I wanted to be a little sincere, but at the same time a little serious and eager, and have both the feelings of, if we don't do it, then, but if we do that, then, right? It's important to have both the perspectives, because if you only focus on this, we will only live in fear. No, we can't do this, we will have to do something else, right? And then we are capable of doing a lot of errors. But if we are having this, if we do this, you see this goal, we are following this goal, right? It dangles in between, it dangles before us, right? Then we can go on with bravery because we see where we can go. Thanks everyone for listening to me. It is not an easy path to go this. It requires bravery. For me, I need to build up my courage every time I do this. And I'm speaking in free flow. And I can't write down and then speak. Because then I feel like I have planned this. But I want to have what my soul has to say to come out. That is truth. I am honest and truthful when I do it. I can't lie to myself. If I lie to myself, it hurts. So, thanks everyone. Might the divine hierarchies, all the ascended masters, the Christ Jesus, and God guide us on this evolutionary path to growth. Love you all. Goodbye.